I want to expand a little bit about Morgan Rogers, Lee. What do you reckon makes him a special player? Forget about the goals. Let's just talk about his attributes, about his ability on the pitch. What makes him such an enigma and such a fascinating football player right now?
Well, do you know something? I mean, his goals, yes, it explains itself. But I think it's just his physicality. I've watched him since he's come to the football club, and I've seen him brush Declan Rice aside. I've seen him brush Thomas Partey aside. Some top, midfielders that he's come up against. But I think what he's got such a great ability to run with the football and keep it close to his feet. You've seen that when he's in tight areas, he can also get himself out of really tight, congested areas with 2-3 players in and around him. And that's where special quality players stand out, don't they? Let's be quite honest. And he's one of them players. I just feel he's just grown and grown since he's come to the football club. I just think that the talent that he possesses, and let's take it here. I mean, obviously, there's bags of talk of it, whether he'll go to the World Cup. He'll go to the World Cup. There's no doubt of that. The thing is, he didn't actually play in a number 10 today. And that's where they see him in an England shirt. He played sort of off a right-hand side or a left-hand side because of the way that Villa played. Tielemans played in a little bit of a 10 role. So he's got a little bit of versatility where I think that's his main role. If he plays in a 10, he can cause all sorts of problems. Sometimes he drifts out of games when he plays in a more wide area of a 3. But, as we've seen today, he can come up with the quality. And that's where I feel top players, you don't have a lot of the football. You find yourself frustrated. He doesn't. When he gets the ball, he wants to do something. He wants to produce something. And that's what he does. And that's why you put yourself, the category of Messi and Ronaldo, the top players. That's what they do. They don't have a lot of effect on the game. And then all of a sudden, 2, 3, 4 touches, and they stick it in the top corner. This is what Morgan Rogers is striving to be, a top player.
Morgan Rogers, Fraser, he's not the finished product yet. He's obviously a work in progress. But I also remember coming across this description of him on social media, which I thought was pretty apt. I want to get your thoughts on it. Someone was describing Morgan Rogers as sort of like this AI designed player, a player that has the flair but also has the physicality. It's a perfect marriage between power but also a throwback to the flair that was evident in the old school number 10s of the past.
Yeah, he is. He's made in a lab somewhere. He's got the physicality of a Gerrard that can carry the ball, but he's got the skills like you're saying, a traditional number 10. And I think, like Lee said before, he carries the ball so well. I think that's his most impressive thing for me. In them little pockets off opposing midfielders' shoulders, his first touch is always taking it into the space, and he can create things. But today, obviously, we saw him from a wider position, and he might not have been in game for a lot of it, but when he was in the game, he made his presence felt, and ultimately he decided the game. But yeah, he's a top player. Like I said earlier in the show, he's my favourite Villa player to watch. I just enjoy the way he plays his football.
Just one final thing on Morgan then, Lee. It wasn't too long ago where, when the discussions about Morgan's role in the England national team, the comparisons with Jude Bellingham, Cole Palmer, in a lot of these conversations, Morgan was always framed as sort of like the underdog character who's trying to get a place. But judging by performances this season, judging by recent performances, judging by where Aston Villa are at in the Premier League table as we speak, it doesn't feel like he's the underdog anymore. It almost feels like he's the primary character for that number 10 starting role for England.
Yeah, well, everybody's talking about him, and that's a sign of how well he's actually playing and what he's doing and how effective he is playing in that sort of 10 role. And when he has put an England shirt on, let's be quite honest, he has been stand out. I mean, when his form wasn't quite at it at Villa, he was doing it in an England shirt. So I think that was a bit of a masterstroke for him and maybe from Thomas Tuchel to give him that confidence and give him that goal back, because there's a player in there that's been for quite some time I think, as you said, he's not the finished article. He's still working on his game. He's still trying to improve. But Morgan Rogers is adding goals to his game. He's adding creativity, flair, and threat. And he has all the attributes to be this top player. I'll tell you that now for a fact. I remember watching Bellingham and what he produced when he come on the scene at such a young age. Still capable of being a massively top player. But the difference is with Morgan, I feel at this moment in time, is that he really has grasped that number 10, and it feels like he is going to make that number 10 his own. And that's what a lot of, not just Aston Villa fans, but a lot of football fans are saying the same thing. He's a top player. He could be the difference for us in a World Cup.
Yeah. Forgive me, Fraser, but I'm going to put you on the spot, unfortunately. Morgan Rogers, Jude Bellingham, Cole Palmer, purely based on form, who do you prefer the most right now?
Well, obviously Cole Palmer's he's not been playing much, has he? So that's an easy one to weed out. But obviously Bellingham is playing at Real Madrid, top quality player. But yeah, I don't know. It's a flip of a coin, innit? You turn up to these tournaments, and certain players are playing well, certain players are not, and you need to know that you've got options. And having Rodgers or Bellingham is two fantastic options. Ideally, you want them both in the team, but if not, whoever's doing well in training, whoever finishes the season strongest should play, because either way, they're both top quality players and they can decide games of football, they can dictate games, and I'd be happy to see either of them two playing and playing well.
I'm going to try my luck with you, Lee. Who do you prefer?
I've got my Villa shirt on under here, so you know who it's going to be from me. No, I mean, listen, I agree. You even look at the likes of Phil Foden, who's been in great form as well of late. It's a great headache for Thomas Tuchel to have. I think at this moment in time, you have to say Morgan is the one, and I think, by hearing from the insides, is that Thomas Tuchel likes his attitude, he likes the way he is, he likes the way he conducts himself, and he likes the way he wants to learn. And that's showing on the football pitch. And at this moment in time, I do feel that, yes, Morgan Rogers is the main number 10.